Healthcare workers gather outside a Rockford auto store, the federal policies that are raising concerns among those protesting. Plus, celebrating members of the workforce here in the Forest City. We'll hear from those who attended this year's Labor Day parade. And an annual basketball tournament for State Line Youth. A look at the 11th year of Senator Steve Stadelman's Hoop Stars event.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening and happy Labor Day. I'm Blake Dietz. Mimi and Wendell are off tonight. Labor Day is a day to recognize America's workforce, and today, State Line healthcare workers gathered to voice their opposition to federal policies. Workers with SEIU Healthcare Illinois held a rally outside the Tesla showroom on McFarland Road. The protesters emphasized the negative impact that the Trump administration's policies will have on healthcare across the state, such as immigration enforcement, as well as cuts to Medicaid.
Legislators, when you put $0 in an appropriation bill for SNAP, and when you put $0 in for Medicaid, you are cutting the program. I can't make it any more clear to you. Zero means nothing, and that's not what they deserve.
SEIU Healthcare Illinois also held similar protests in other cities across the state today, including in Springfield and in Chicago. Last month, Republican State Senator Dave Severson defended the Medicaid cuts, saying in part, quote, Medicaid was never intended to provide free health care to illegals, especially not care that is better than what working families who are legally here receive. And if you are a healthy, able-bodied adult who chooses not to contribute to your community in any way, you will no longer be covered until you start giving back, end quote. Today is a day to celebrate those men and women in the workforce, and for Rockford is also the annual Labor Day parade. Eyewitness News reporter Tyler Sorensen was there, and he joins us now. Tyler, how was it?
Yeah, Blake, the parade was a fun time with the theme focusing on unions and their effort to perfect the work they do in our community.
A day to recognize the backbone of the United States this Labor Day at the annual Rockford Labor Day Parade.
The parade was wonderful. It's just a good reminder about all the hardworking people, the backbone of America that make the country run through their hard work and dedication to their place of employment.
This year's theme was Organize, Mobilize, Fight, highlighting the work that unions do with their efforts to protect organized labor and showcasing the work that organized labor does in the community.
I think it's important to come down and just acknowledge the men and women that work hard day in and day out, that keep the city of Rockford running, keep the infrastructure running. It's just so important, I feel, to just come down and acknowledge all the hardworking people in the city of Rockford.
One of the men in the crowd this year was Curtis Robertson.
I'm all for that Labor Day parade because I was a union leader at one time, and I think they do a lot of good for people that's in the working and keep them recognized in the community and things they do, and just glad to be out and see it, participate in it.
Robertson used to take part in the parade, but now he sits and watches like everyone else.
Absolutely, you need to, they're for the backbone of it, as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
A lot of great hardworking people in the town of Rockford that make it so I can enjoy the luxuries that I do, from the town, from the streets, from the electricity, all that stuff.
Now, more than 36 labor unions took part in Rockford's parade this year. Blake.
All right, thank you, Tyler. And following the parade, the downtown festivities continued with an annual picnic and car show. The We Are One event took place at the Rockford City Market Pavilion. It's an annual event hosted by Rockford United Labor. Attendees could enjoy a meal, listen to live music, and check out the car show. Dozens of rides ranging from trucks to Jeeps to motorcycles were on display, all for guests to see.
Can't get any more American than a car show. Everybody loves a good car show. Everybody loves seeing old cars, new cars, everything in between. And down here at our show, we offer it all.
Now, proceeds from the event go towards Goodwill of Northern Illinois and the Rockford Park District Foundation. In Freeport, Labor Day gave the community and visitors the chance to step back in time. The Stevenson County Antique Engine Club held their Labor Day celebration. The group brought out several period piece cars and trucks for visitors of the Silver Creek Museum. Visitors also had the chance to ride on a 1912 Heisler steam locomotive. Today, the engine now runs on a wood fire. We spoke with one volunteer about what he hopes people will get out of a visit.
One, having a lot of fun, And 2, just getting a realization for what built America, how we used to operate, and maybe spark an interest in history.
Money raised by the train rides goes right back into maintenance for the locomotive. Every Labor Day weekend, tens of thousands of people would go downtown for the On the Waterfront. After it closed over a decade ago, a local state senator decided to start a new Labor Day tradition to serve as a replacement. State Senator Steve Sodelman hosted his annual Hoop Stars basketball tournament today. It's in partnership with the Rockford Park District. The event just wrapped up at 5. The free event gives 5th through 8th grade boys and girls a place to come together and celebrate the holiday all as a community.
These types of tournaments can be very expensive if you go to other tournaments and other places, and so we're just offering free. A nice facility thanks to the Rockford Park District. So a chance to play some good competition and have fun and play basketball, which I love to do as well.
This was the state senator's 11th year again of hosting the Hoop Stars tournament here in Rockford. A reminder, the city of Beloit is still looking for community feedback as part of their efforts to recruit a new police chief. A survey is available on the city's website. People are invited to share the qualities and experience they would like to see in the department's next chief. This comes after former Chief Andre Sales resigned in June to take a position in Seattle. The survey deadline is Friday, September 5th. Several former CDC directors criticizing the head of the Health and Human Services Department. When we come back, a look at the future of the next COVID vaccine. And coming up tonight at 6, September is Healthy Aging Month. How experts say you can stay active as we approach fall.
And maybe part of being active has been to be outdoors the last couple of days because we had a nice weekend, and today just carry it over from that. Temperatures made it into the upper 70s, a little bit closer to where we should be. That number will climb again tomorrow, but it falls through the end of the week. How long we hang on to some cooler weather coming up in the first warn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Lever, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
9 former directors of the CDC say Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is endangering the health of Americans as we head into fall and Americans start to get their COVID shots. President Trump is now calling on pharmaceutical companies to release more data on COVID vaccines. Perry Russum is in Washington, D.C. with more.
President Trump today calling on pharmaceutical companies to justify the success of their COVID vaccines. This as the CDC grapples with a change in leadership and growing confusion over who can get the shot this fall. The White House says Trump fired the head of the CDC, Susan Menares, last week, leading to several top officials at the agency resigning in protest.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture.
In an op-ed today in the New York Times, 9 former directors and acting directors of the CDC accuse Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of endangering the health of every American. They write in part, Congress must exercise its oversight authority over HHS. State and local governments must fill funding gaps where they can. Former CDC acting director Dr. Richard Besser is one of the op-ed's co-authors.
What we're asking for is for Congress to fulfill its obligation of oversight for the department and make sure that this is not allowed to just continue.
The FDA has approved the new updated COVID vaccines while at the same time narrowing the guidelines on who should get them. The FDA green-lighting the vaccine only for seniors and younger people who have medical conditions, putting them at higher risk from COVID-19. At the largest pharmacy chain in the country, CVS, the vaccine is not being offered in 3 states, Nevada, New Mexico, and Massachusetts. In 13 other states and Washington, D.C., you need a prescription.
And Walgreens has their own restrictions. You have to have a prescription in 16 states. Both companies say they plan to have the new vaccine in stock soon. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the weather is almost perfect this Labor Day, and that should continue into the days ahead. When we return, Chief Meteorologist Candace King lets us know what we can expect in the days ahead. Her forecast is coming up next.
Now, your first warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, not only did it feel like the month of August just flew by, but the year has been flying by. September 1st today, and very comfortable as we kick off the month of September. But a look back to August shows temperatures ended just a little bit below that monthly average, with 70.6 degrees. When you average out that high and low temperature, that puts us at 1.3 degrees below average. And it was somewhat a dry month. Yeah, we had some rain come down, especially during the middle to beginning of the month. Overall, just over 3.3 inches, I should say, of rainfall coming down. That put us at just about 9/10 of an inch below our average. And when we look at our temperatures here over the last 13 days, that's a lot of blue showing up. We've kind of held on to this overall below average trend over the last couple of weeks. Today, no exception, and tomorrow temperatures will climb back up close to that 80-degree mark, very similar to where we were today. Now, when we look at our average high temperatures and our lows through the month of September, beginning of the month, we start off at 80 degrees. We drop a good 10 degrees, though, by the time we get towards the end of the month, and still averaging just over 3.6 inches of precipitation. We start off dry, but our next chance for rain moves in by the time we get into Wednesday. It's been a beautiful day to get out. I hope you've been able to make the most of this weekend, because it has just been a nice weekend. There's been a lot of activity up and down the river here this afternoon. Beautiful picture coming in on our SkyTrack camera on top of the Supply Corps building, and brought to us by Window World. It's been comfortable too, not overly hot, not necessarily cold. 77 right now in Rockford, Janesville, and Harvard, 74 in Rochelle, and you're sitting at 78 degrees right now in Dixon. Those numbers, they'll stay in the 70s for the next couple of hours, dropping back slowly here down into the low 50s as we go through the night tonight. Wouldn't be surprised again if we see some patchy fog develop through the overnight, some of that shallow ground fog, and there might be some locally dense fog, just like what some woke up to here early this morning. 79 for tomorrow afternoon, another beautiful day, but the wind turns to the west and southwest, and this is ahead of a strong fall cold front that comes in during the day on Wednesday. Brings us a chilly rain into the afternoon, and then a quick shot of cold. Temperatures will feel more like October, and we'll have some wind to go along with it as well. 72 for our weather watcher Jean down in DeKalb. A light wind right now around 3 miles per hour, and that relative humidity sits at 53%. So let's plan out these next couple of days. We might just see a few more clouds heading into tomorrow afternoon. Here's that cold front, little disturbance there out to the northwest. What that'll do throughout the day on Tuesday, that brings in some more cloud cover. So our skies, they will turn mostly cloudy Tuesday night. There might be a sprinkle or two that tries to develop there by Wednesday morning, but the bulk of the rainfall that comes in with the arrival of the cold front late morning, early afternoon, that'll pass through. We'll likely see a better chance for some thunderstorms further to the south, little better instability kind of building up there, and longer duration of some warming taking place too, especially if that front comes through around 1 o'clock. We'll dry things out on Thursday because there is some dry air that comes in, but another system comes in, and by the time we get into Thursday night and for Friday, that could bring us our next chance for some showers there heading into Friday afternoon. Notice the temperatures though, down to 63 degrees on Thursday, 66 on Friday, 67 on Saturday, and we'll stay in those 60s, but high pressure does eventually build in, so that'll dry us out a bit as we head into next weekend. So bottom line, hopefully you've been able to enjoy this nicer weather, because it changes in a hurry here in a few short days.
I know I enjoyed it this morning. It was perfect out. You know, just enjoy it, take advantage of the good days while we still have them, you know.
Exactly.
Thanks, Candace. Scott's in next with sports. The Packers welcome their new superstar to practice today, but will he be ready for game day action?
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The Packers had some extra adrenaline for practice today, and not simply because it's game week, it's because of who was on the field. Micah Parsons participated for the first time. He was limited in what he could do, though. He's been bothered by a bad back, a joint sprain back there. The Packers aren't certain if he'll be able to play in the opener Sunday against the Lions. Parsons was taking some anti-inflammatories in Dallas. He might take an injection before the game Sunday if he needs it. Well, the Cubs have added some help for their bench. They've signed veteran first baseman DH Carlos Santana. He was recently released by the Guardians. Santana hit 11 home runs and drove in 52 runs for Cleveland. Cubs are in action right now, hosting the Braves. They are trailing it 6-4 in the 8th inning. The Brewers also playing a day game on this holiday. They are all knotted up in Milwaukee with the Phillies 6-6 in the top of the 7th. And the White Sox, they edged the Twins 6-5. Michael Tauchman had 2 hits and drove in 2 runs. Colson Montgomery hit his 16th home run. The big story today at the U.S. Open tennis tournament was this match. Naomi Osaka defeated Coco Gauff in straight sets 6-3, 6-2. Osaka says she was locked in. She advances to the quarterfinals. It's been 4.5 years since she's done that. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Well, now before we go, the mascot for the University of Oregon really lost his head during their home opener this weekend. Take a look. Students call him Puddles. He was running onto the field before the Ducks faced Montana State when, as you can see, his giant head fell off. The obviously embarrassed mascot had to make a beeline for the tunnel with a staffer carrying the head behind him. So we're off to a fantastic, or at least funny, start of football season. And the weather really, is reflecting that with, temperatures really starting to get into the 60s here. So Candace, tell me, we're really starting to get into that fall-like weather. The start of meteorological fall is September 1st. A lot of people don't know that. So technically, according to your standards, we're in fall now, I think. So
right. For, data keeping and temps and everything like that, it's easier to go by that 3-month standard. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been gorgeous. Now, isn't though Oregon number 1 with college football?
They are historically really good. I'm not sure what they are actually right now. There's so many to keep track of. It's early in the year, but they are one of those teams that is by the end of the year, November, December, they're always there.
Sure.
So
I was gonna say, hopefully it's not a little look into what they're
right. It's not a bad. Hopefully it's not a bad omen for them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But hey, you know what? There was a lot of football taking place this weekend, and it was gorgeous for that. Tomorrow, another nice day, upper 70s for the afternoon. We've got some rain coming in, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain coming in on Wednesday, and then drop in temperatures by the end of the week.
All right, thank you, Candace, and thank you for joining us on our Labor Day. Have a great rest of your night.